Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. Back in with another episode. Today, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, Orchid, and Litecoin. If you guys are new to the channel, it is very nice to meet you guys. And if you have not yet done so, feel free to subscribe for more cryptocurrency technical analysis and news. And if you guys haven't yet done so, whether you are new or old, clicking that bell notification is a great way for you to be alerted whenever there's a new video. If you don't do that, YouTube is not going to be pushing it and letting you know what's going on. So I'm trying to do the best I can to keep you guys up to date with all of the hottest and greatest news. There's a lot of great other cryptocurrency channels out there. If you guys ever want any of my personal favorites, I'd be more than happy to recommend them to you guys. I always think it's a good idea to get more than one person's opinion on these things. And with that being said, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. These things are my own opinion, my technical analysis research, the news articles that I'm sharing with you guys, hopefully is going to be valuable for you. And with that being said, let's go ahead and roll right into this. Oh, and sorry, just real quick, if you guys can, please hit the like button. We're trying to get to 50 likes. Okay, so Bitcoin right now, we're taking a look over here, and you can see DeFi tokens make triple-digit gains as Bitcoin price search for support. So talking in relationship to Bitcoin news, first off, within the last 7 days, Aave, or Av, I believe is how it's pronounced, ricocheted off its double bottom to rally 214% and currently trades slightly above $80. Next up after that is Even Curves Finance, CRV governance token, one which many crypto investors have described as a complete laggard, pulled off a clean double bottom reversal and rallied 176% to 84 cents. And then even further, after nearly being shorted to death by the likes of Sam Bankman-Fried and other savvy professional traders, Yearn Finance's YFI token is also making waves with an 83.5% gain in the past week. Yearn Finance coming back strong. It even mentions here too about how SushiSwap is actually starting to see a bit of a recovery coming back too. There was a big sell-off that actually took place from their head guy, the lead developer, who dumped approximately 13 million worth of sushi. A lot of people are like, oh, okay, something's weird here. Why is he dumping so much of this? Next thing, I thought this was actually very interesting, so let me go ahead and pause this. Bitcoin, no match for gold in coronavirus world. And this is from Fox Business. I don't know about you guys, but I've been losing a lot of trust and recognition for Fox, especially with their news department over the last couple months. But anyways, let's just go ahead and talk about this. When I was looking up relevant news for Bitcoin, this was one of the leading article references. And so I'm like, okay, it's from Fox. I never really get recommendations for this, but I decided to check it out. And of course, the one time that I do from Fox, it seems like it's negative. Bitcoin no match for gold in coronavirus world. You're going to find this pretty interesting, I think, especially if you guys are long-term showing interest in doing research into Bitcoin. So to try to act like Bitcoin is some kind of improved version of gold, it's going to disrupt gold because it's a better store of value. It's a better medium of exchange. All that is pure nonsense, said Peter Schiff. I gotta laugh at this, guys, because on Twitter, when you got all these different people talking about Bitcoin, right? One of the leading guys that's always against Bitcoin, and it's like a meme at this point, is Peter Schiff. I mean, Peter Schiff is big into gold, right? And he's been saying how Bitcoin isn't going to do as good and there's no store of value and all this other stuff. He's gone on debates with different people, and he keeps getting the evidence presented to him, and he just doesn't want to see it. So the fact that of Fox News, they're saying that, oh, it's not going to be the overtaking gold. Well, what's the resource? Oh, it's Peter Schiff. Womp, 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 womp. It's not a store of value because it has no value in store. This is what he claims. Now, you guys may agree with it, may disagree with it. It's totally up to you guys and your own opinion. I just find it so funny that that's the reference that they had. Okay, now back in October 2018, this was actually a quote from somebody else. Crypto is the mother of or father of all scams and bubbles. Nouriel Roubini, CEO of Roubini Macro Associates and a professor at New York University's Stern School of Business, said in testimony before the U.S. Senate Committee on Banking, Housing, and Community Affairs, October 2018. So we're talking over 2 years ago now. Roubini last week tweaked his view on Bitcoin, telling Yahoo Finance the cryptocurrency might be a, quote, partial store of value because of its limited supply. So it kind of twists the perspective a little bit, and you're starting to change. You're starting to see the light of day. A lot of the companies that were kind of jumping on the Bitcoin bandwagon back in 2017, they've all walked away, Schiff said. How can you say a lot of them, but then say that all of them in literally the same sentence? I don't know how you can pull that off grammatically, but that's very interesting. Nobody is interested in Bitcoin anymore as a payment method, which is also interesting because the following statement, which is literally just happened, I don't know what bubble Schiff is living in, which for the most part, I like Peter Schiff. He seems like a genuinely nice guy from what I could tell, but I think he's got a very stubborn perspective view on things, on how the industry space is supposed to be, and he just wants to be right in the end. He doesn't want to be open to the idea of evolution into systems, and he thinks that the only reliable factor is something that's been proven to be unreliable, but just slightly more reliable than the other things that we've had in the past. It doesn't make sense. There are other uses for it, however. PayPal last month became the most recent company to allow users to buy, hold, and sell Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, and plans to give customers the ability to use the assets as a funding source inside their PayPal digital wallets, accepted at 26 million merchants worldwide. Nobody's interested in Bitcoin anymore as a payment method. Bitcoin, PayPal, 26 million merchants. Connect the dots here? Okay, there's no real use for Bitcoin, Schiff says. All you can do with Bitcoin once you buy it is sell it, but you need somebody else to buy it from you. It's a massive pump and dump, which is also not true. This is also fake news. There's lots of different places you can actually spend Bitcoin on. You can buy Lamborghinis with Bitcoin. You might be like, well, okay, but yeah, the average person's not going to go out and just straight up buy a Lamborghini, right? Like only the rich people are going to be buying a Lamborghini. Same thing. Private jet. You can also go buy a private jet with Bitcoin. Oh, well, the average person's not going to be doing that either. Okay. What about going into Starbucks? Because technically you can use Bitcoin as a form of payment at Starbucks. A lot of them accept it now. Whole Foods, same thing. Newegg is another example. Expedia, if you're trying to do airplane tickets like that. There's a whole laundry list. And that list is going to continue to expand as more and more people come into using Bitcoin, as it starts to reveal itself that the more common person, right, percentage-wise of populations, more people are having access to it. Okay, you have more potential customers. And you see the value is continuing to grow. A lot of good signs right there. So that was really interesting, okay? And that article was posted 6 hours ago. All right? Now, also today, how ironic, and I thought this was so funny, the complete case for the $100,000 Bitcoin, okay? Because this talks about why Bitcoin is a store of value. So basically, Fox News came out with Peter Schiff, and he's going saying all this stuff about how it's not a store of value. And then, like, here you go. Here's the full explanation. Peter Schiff, just watch my video, dude. Go watch my video. Go read this article in full. You know, this is from CoinDesk. And let's go ahead and talk about this. The complete case for $100,000 Bitcoin. What a year. A global pandemic, a wavering stock market, rising numbers of unemployed people, and continued uncertainty in global markets. In a world. Okay, yet we saw the Bitcoin price recover from $5,300 in March to almost $18,000 at time of writing. That's almost a 240% return within 9 months. Jeez, that's a baby right there. So Bitcoin is a store of value. How do they define this? I wanted to go ahead and highlight this for you guys. When we talk about the valuation of an asset, the first step is to understand the fundamental economics. Equities, bonds, and real estate, for example, often derive their value from generating cash flows. Therefore, valuation of these assets involves projecting future cash flows. Commodities, on the other hand, are more utility-based, and therefore their prices are anchored by industrial supply and demand. Before taking any action on Bitcoin, I suggest asking yourself, what is Bitcoin for? Use this as a baseline to form your own view of the value of Bitcoin and its fair price range in a given time horizon. Here's my take as a hodler. Bitcoin is sound money and the first native internet money in human society. It is scarce, 21 million fixed supply, durable, digital, accessible, blockchain is 24/7, divisible, 1 Bitcoin equals 100 million Satoshis, verifiable, open source Bitcoin core, and more importantly, censorship resistant encrypted. With these superior monetary qualities in one asset, Bitcoin is a great store of value. Once it reaches a critical mass of adoption as a store of value, Bitcoin has huge potential to grow into a global reserve currency and universal unit of account too over time. I love how they phrase this, global reserve currency, right? And that's what a lot of people look at things like gold. And I've talked about this before. I personally think that you're going to see other forms of cash like the digital yuan that's going to be the forefront. But what are those going to be backed off of? Is it going to be backed off of the US dollar? The US dollar is inflationary, right? So if you want to have a hard asset that's a fixed supply, that's something that is something you can't counterfeit, right? And easy to trace, the whole blockchain system, I think Bitcoin is a very valid system to be referencing to, especially because the security of it continues to strengthen, not weaken, continues to get even stronger. The history of money shows us that natural forms of money generally go through 3 phases of evolution. First is collectible, speculation on scarcity. Second is investment, store value. Third is money, unit of account, and payment, medium of exchange. As Bitcoin goes through different phases, its valuation scheme varies too. In my view, Bitcoin is currently in the early stage of phase 2. Below is a short summary of the 2-phase Bitcoin has been through and respective value implications. So as they kind of talk in through this a little bit more, it's a very lengthy article, a lot of good information here. They give you a couple different scenarios, 1 to 2% U.S. households. You could see something in the range of like $56,000 to $112,000. On a higher end, you could see something like $228,000 to $456 price range, which would absolutely be amazing. Scenario 2, if it was 2% to 3%, you could see somewhere between $70,000 to $105,000. So absolutely crazy price ranges in these movements, right? Scenario 3, catching up with gold. There's been a long-standing argument that Bitcoin would catch up to gold in market cap once it is widely accepted as a digital and superior version of gold. So again, this basically takes everything that Peter just said in that other article and answers it. And the fact that these both came out the same exact day is either very careful planning and preparation and was a response from one to the other. I don't know the exact time when both of these were posted, or it's just pure irony. And by the way, speaking about irony, Peter Schiff's own son buys Bitcoin against the advice of his father. But yeah, Peter Schiff's son owns Bitcoin and believes and supports in it. And he's part of the next generation, okay? So I wonder if Peter Schiff is going to be like, here, son, I inherit you my gold. And he's going to be like, thanks for nothing, Dad. It's not worth anymore. No one trades gold. No, I'm just kidding. People are going to still trade gold. I'm just joking about that, guys. There's been a long-standing argument that Bitcoin would catch up to gold in market cap once it is widely accepted as a digital and superior version of gold. Current gold market cap is $9 trillion. This is about 2% of total global wealth and 12% of global HNWI wealth. Sorry about that noise in the background. 100% gold market cap means $428,000 price point for Bitcoin. Can we get there in 12 months? Probably too aggressive an assumption. Can Bitcoin rise to 20% to 25% of gold in 12 months, aka 2.4% to 3% global HNWI wealth allocation? Possible. That would give us a price range of $80,000 to $110,000. There are additional factors that could add more upside to Bitcoin. Given that we are still in the early stage of mainstream adoption, I don't want to overemphasize them, but I want to lay them out just to keep the perspective. The guy that wrote this article, I mean, this guy, it's an absolutely amazing article, and you guys should definitely check out the full details. I'm not reading everything in this. We got other things we got to talk about too. I'm going to read this last little bit, and then we can move on to the next piece. Potential allocation from corporate treasury management. You got potential allocation from foreign exchange reserve of all sovereign states. Not 100% of Bitcoin's max supply would be available for trade, and none of the above accounts for the dollar's inflation rate in the years to come, which is about 2% to 3% annually as a baseline. Neither do these scenario accounts for the network effect of Bitcoin, the possibility of Bitcoin becoming more ubiquitous and reliable as a unit of account. So this is an article on CoinDesk from Hong Feng. Absolutely beautiful job on that. And this is on, the title is The Complete Case for 100,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so here, moving on. First mover, what China crackdown means for $18,000 Bitcoin as Diamond passes on T. So Diamond said that it's not his cup of tea. This is a really rich guy, right? That's fine. He doesn't have to be involved in it. There's other people that are going to be in it. And then if he wants to buy in at a higher price point because he waited too long, that's on him. He could still make profit because of just the way that Bitcoin works. There's a tsunami of buying power up against reluctant sellers. Okay, let's try and say that again. There is a tsunami of buying power up against reluctant sellers. Charlie Morris, CEO of the cryptocurrency fund manager ByteTree, wrote in a note to clients. These buyers are putting real money behind Bitcoin, not the old dribs and drabs normally seen from retail investors. So what's been going on with gold, right? Again, Peter Schiff is saying that like this isn't going to catch up to gold. Gold is weakening. Gold weakened 0.5% to $1,863 an ounce. So not only is the value of Bitcoin going up, but the value of gold is going down. So it's almost like this meet me in the middle kind of circumstance. So you can get to the price point of gold sooner because gold itself is losing interest. And if people are moving their investments from gold into Bitcoin, that's one of those factors that would cause the price to go down because people are dumping their gold, their supply onto the market, and there's not a lot of demand, right? So it's going to go in cycles. Gold is going to go up again too, and then its value in dollars is also going to go up because of inflation. So naturally, you could say, oh, it's worth $2,000, but $2,000 in today's money is worth a lot less than it was 10 years ago. So did it really go up in value? And there's other charts you can look at this stuff to see, like, did it actually go up in value? According to a recent note from QCP Capital on its Telegram channel, miners in China are seeing their bank accounts and credit cards frozen as the government tries to crack down on money laundering. That's a big deal for Bitcoin because 70% of its mining power comes from China. OKEX's suspended withdrawals on October 16th when founder Mingxing Star Zhu was rumored to have been taken into police custody. I apologize if I didn't pronounce the name right. Announced Thursday that it will be resuming withdrawals on or before November 27th, as Zhu is now said to be a free man again. So the fact that it's going to be coming back up again around November 27th, I'm curious what's going to happen. What do you guys think, right? Do you guys think that we're going to see OKEX start dumping a whole bunch of Bitcoin onto the market and that's going to cause the price to go down? Or do you think that people are still going to hold strong, just like what we've been kind of seeing going on? I'm curious. You guys let me know in the comments down below. And again, guys, if you are enjoying this content, we still have more to talk about. But if you guys are enjoying this content, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the like button. We're trying to get to at least 50 likes on all these videos. If we do hit that, we can start making a little bit more momentum. We're trying to build a strong community. And I can't do it without every single one of you guys. And I'm incredibly thankful for you guys being here. The bell notification, once again, is a great way to be notified when we go live. Looking at Bitcoin on the daily, we are above that level of resistance. We're now on 4 daily candle closes above. So this position is now forming much stronger. We can actually reposition this. In my belief, we've established more certainty of a price point. And I would actually establish it right about here. So we get a bounce off of the top. We have some temporary breakups above. You can see there was huge retracements and sell-offs. So to say that that was a strong establishment, I feel much more secure on November 17th with its placement. And we can see everything is still above the 21 EMA. The 21 EMA is still pushing up higher. So once again, if this does have a further retracement back, as I've said in previous videos, if it decides that it wants to test that as a level of support, it's actually good because it's a higher level of support every day. Today's level of support is approximately 15,880. Yesterday's was lower at about 15,670. So we're having these incremental factors up. As you guys can see, we're getting close once again, trying to test the waters, getting close to that $18,000 price point. Who knows? Maybe while I'm recording this video, we're going to see a massive breakout and that'll be a part of the video, which would be absolutely great. It takes a little bit of time for my videos to get uploaded. So for all I know, I could be uploading and it's already at 20K, which would also be very great. So the retracement back, guys, keep an eye out. Make sure that it doesn't go and test those waters right there. We can actually see it having a little bit of a formation up here on November 15th and 16th near the baseline as well. So right around $15,900 would be a critical level of retracement if it was to have a big flash crash down. But that would be a very significant crash down for a daily candle. And more than likely, a lot of buying power would be immediately gobbling it back up. but we know that the markets are volatile. A lot of things can come into play. Some news can come out. Some crazy huge whale from years ago can be like, hey, what's up? I'm just going to dump it now. It's like, oh, geez, okay, all right, that just happened. So the next level we have to go above is actually to be out here at $18,118 and right around that range, right around $18,100. Let's go ahead and take a look at it on the 4-hourly chart. Looking at the 4-hourly chart, we got some sideways consolidation space that's going on, and you can actually see a little bit of what I was actually talking about previously in my last video. So if you guys haven't seen my video from yesterday, this is actually really cool, and I said that this would be absolutely huge, and I looked at this kind of like as a second option format, is if we went into a consolidated space right now, because then we could end up forming potentially a descending wedge pattern. That's right. If this starts to have a little bit more of a formation like this, right? If we have a little bit more of a formation like this, progressively just kind of moving down but bouncing off these levels here, that's a bullish reversal indicator, and that's a natural sign suggesting of a higher likelihood for an uptrend, for the price to actually go in the up direction, guys. That's a horrible looking arrow, isn't it? Come on, Charlie Brown. Wait, Charlie Brown? I don't know. Anyways, was watching the stuff with the tree in New York City. That little owl was really cute too, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that. Named Rockefeller. And so looking at this, if it does have that consolidated space, personally, I think that that is a natural, healthy position to stabilize ourselves. So if we test the waters at 20K, we're more likely to actually continue breaking up. There's so much cause for concern that we're going to hit 20K or just get right underneath it, and then everyone's going to dump it, and it's going to mass fall like it did before. But the longer that we kind of create a baseline as we get closer and we get closer and we get closer, the harder it is that you're going to have it drop, because it's now established itself. Instead of being like a bubble, you've created a stepping stone system, a structure, right? So yeah, you might have some pullback, but it wouldn't be as hard hitting. That's what the hope is. But again, things are unpredictable. Stuff gets thrown in there with wrenches. I like the idea that it's getting a little bit of the sideways action right now. The fact that we're going to be going into Friday tomorrow, I would say there's a high likelihood of some volatility there. If we're going to hit $20,000 Friday, could very well be it. Monday, very well good chance of it too. I don't know how this is going to play out next once we get past $20,000. If it just continued to rise all the way up 25K, 30,000, something like that, I would be absolutely ecstatic. But we got to be cautious, because people will start taking profits, and people that are large whale holders especially are going to end up dumping in the market, and that could cause people to start to panic. So it's very interesting how things are playing right now, and you guys should just be cautious. Next thing we're going to talk about is Orchid. Looking at this, it has had 2 days close above that 21 EMA, but you can see that there was a huge sell-off, and I talked about this in my previous video too. I'm a huge proponent, supporter of Orchid and what its future is. On a personal level, I've invested a good amount of my percentage-wise in my portfolio into this project, and I would love to see it do well. But I can't lie to you guys. Like, if I see something from a fundamental standpoint, I want to be totally transparent. So long term, I think this has great future. Short term, it's still not looking good. It still looks like it has a chance to do another big dump, and it's because it's going down further red, and it is getting closer again towards that 21 EMA. I don't want to see it go back into this consolidated phase, which you could argue it's already still within that phase pattern right there. It broke above the level of resistance, but this was a massive, huge volume spike, and we're just seeing a further continuation backwards, guys. So if it closes a third day above the 21 EMA, I am bullish, but you know, how bullish am I? Am I like really optimistic? This thing is getting ready to totally take off. It depends on where it kind of rests. If it's sitting itself on another daily red candle down, especially on a large volume candle like this, and it's so close to 21 EMA, I would be optimistically bullish. I'm a little bit still cause for concern. You know, this was such a big candle, and we're just seeing everything retracing back, and it's giving so many flashbacks to the previous period. So I mentioned before, we need at least 2 patterns for Orchid, given its history here. Going above the 21 EMA and retracing right back, it needs a solid 3 days. Closing at a point like this, it would technically be above 3. So I would be bullish at that point, not bearish. But, you know, it needs to start having a green candle after that. We get a daily close on the green candle, I feel a lot more reassured. And also keep in mind that Ethereum 2.0 is coming out very soon, in the middle of December. There are a lot of other tokens that are coming out, so it's going to be very interesting, especially with Orchid being like considered a top 100 coin market cap coin. What's going to happen with it? And that's based on the market cap. And the next thing we got going on over here is with Litecoin. Litecoin is getting very close to that key level I had pointed out to you guys in a previous video, which is up right there at $85. It is very close, just nearly tapping it on both the previous day as well as the current day. It is having a little bit of a retracement back here, but it's working its way back up once again. And a lot of people are going to be looking to try and take those previous profits back, because this level to break above, yeah, although this is kind of a key level right here. Well, you know what? Actually, I think I had that a little bit too high. I don't know if I accidentally moved that or I just wasn't zoomed in enough. All right, so that's actually more appropriate. So let's go ahead and mention that again. My apologies, guys. That looks 84.58. So it's nearly the same dollar range. You can see it's very close within that same perspective view as what it was before. Just a slight little discrepancy there. If it breaks above that, then the next key level of high level of resistance is going to be at a peak of 146. So it's not the most immediate, but a key level is 146. We got another price point to keep an eye out at 182, at 252, and the highest price point it was at 422. Do you guys think that Litecoin has the potential to go back over $400? Let me know in the comments down below. Me personally, I don't really see it having that, because there's also a lot of people suggesting that there's not a lot of real strong application for Litecoin. But you do look at things like PayPal and other banks, they are looking at working alongside more with Litecoin, or they already are working more with Litecoin in addition to Bitcoin. So just putting it on the spectrum so that more common people have the ability to access it, that alone means that there's now more potential chance for demand in it. So it has a chance to do it, but I'm curious to see what you guys think. And that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this video, guys. This has a chance to have a further retracement back. We're seeing high levels of volume volatility on the daily. So it's looking pretty strong right now. A retracement back down to the 21 EMA is at $65. Key level of support I would look at is going to be at $69, as we could see previously as of a peak right here, which we had a bounce off of. And it was actually lined up pretty well with this point back here on November 18th as well. So yeah, sorry, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed yourself, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn the bell notification on so you know when we have a new video. And also, if you can hit that like button, we can get at least 50 likes on this video. Comment down below, let me know how your day's going. If you have any thoughts, opinions on any of these things, I will be sure to check those out. I don't always reply to them, but I do look at them, guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in the next episode.